What's everybody? Welcome to the 90s First Take, your weekly video game debate show on the news that you all love. My name is Mike, in the hosting chair this week. We had to delay the episode one night, and so Jelly works, and so I'm taking over, and I got two special debaters. And yes, you are special, Sean. I got Sean once again joining us as he has been known to show up once in a while here on the 90s First Take. And then we have Cicero as another debater here tonight who is now one of our regulars on the show. So welcome you two. How are we doing tonight?
Doing well. Happy to be here.
Awesome. I'm also doing well and happy to be here.
Look at that.
I thought you were gonna say not happy to be here. That would have been funny.
No.
Doing well and not happy to be here at all.
Yep.
Well, all right. Glad both of you are here. Let's get into our guts segment where we see if we have the guts to answer a question on video games and just to get it to know us a little bit better. So this week, gentlemen, I pose the question: what is one of your favorite TV shows or movies that deserves a good video game? And Sean, I'm gonna go your way first, my friend.
Well, I would have said the anime My Next Life as a Villainess, which is based off of a fake like dating sim game. But then it recently was announced that it's getting like a sequel dating sim game. So that's already winning, as that is. And the catch on that is that like you're playing like the lady like gets sucked in the world where she's like the villain of that game who like always dies at the ends of whatever route you take. So like her whole thing is trying to be nice to everybody so that she doesn't do that.
Okay.
But anyway, since that's already getting
That
a game,
stinks.
I'm
Now we can't claim like ownership for we can't
Yeah.
claim the reason behind.
I would be far from the first to say that was a thing. But, I'm gonna go in the like complete opposite direction. Mostly tonally complete opposite direction and say Brick. Oh no, I forgot the director's name. But it's like a noir movie set in a high school setting, made by the guy that did Star Wars Episode 8.
Oh, Ryan Johnson.
Rian Johnson. Yeah,
There
Ryan
you go.
Johnson. He did this. It was one of his first. And I think some sort of maybe like an open world, maybe like a Yakuza-like or something like that.
Okay.
I don't know. I just think it's just a neat setting that you could do some kind of like either relationship mechanics in there or something like that, or just kind of be just overwrought high school gangster sort of situation.
Oh yeah,
Could be cool.
nice. Okay, I like that angle. Cicero, hit us with a suggestion.
In I think it was 1999, the sci-fi world was shown a new direction, and people were blown away by the storytelling of a seminal film. No, not The Matrix, because that has a video game already. This is one of my favorite films, Dark City. I don't know if you guys have seen Dark City with Rufus Sewell,
I have not.
Jennifer Connelly.
Mhm.
Just a very, very noir sci-fi story. Brilliantly done. So please, if you haven't seen it, go check it out. My video game, or where I think the game should be, is probably set at the end, either towards the middle of the movie to the end of the film, and then to go beyond the end of the film to talk about what happens next.
Okay, all right. What type of genre are you feeling for this? Like just open world or?
So it seems kind of derivative to say this, but if anybody that's listening that has seen the film, I would think like either first person action RPG or third person action RPG, but kind of think like BioShock,
Okay. All right.
something in that vein.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. I think that's I think BioShock is a very good theme and version of a first person shooter action game that fits sci-fi for sure. So when thinking about this question, I think I have to emphasize the word good. Avatar: The Last Airbender deserves a good video game. Dang it. It really, really does. But I mean that is the cries of all Last Airbender fans. I'm gonna go a different route. I think one of my favorite TV shows of all time is the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, and to have an open world maybe something in the vein of Gotham Knights, the new game coming out, with the 4 different characters and the ability to change characters and do different skill trees with each of those. I think Power Rangers needs something like that. I think it would be amazing to have that, and think about all the monsters that Rita Repulsa makes. You could have some type of nemesis system or something like that in the game. I think that'd be a blast. I think Power Rangers deserves a good video game because let's be honest, I don't think there's ever been one.
So the new Power Rangers game is better than you would think it is.
The fighting game one, the Battle for the
yeah.
Okay,
It's
I have it downloaded.
Yeah, it's better.
I have it downloaded.
Right, it's better than you would think it should be.
Okay.
Or it would be.
I have to boot it up. I've downloaded it because of Game Pass and just never booted it up. Yeah. So. All right. Speaking of booting up games, let's move on to the "What have you been playing" section. Let's reverse it here. Cicero, what have you been up to? What have you been playing, my brother?
So there's a series that released a beta this past week. I wanted to give it a shot because no one's really sure if people are going to buy this game. Small publisher in Activision has this game.
Developer,
has this. Has this game Call of Duty. I don't know if you guys have heard about it, but man, I've been playing some Call of Duty, Black Ops Cold War. There's way too many words in the title of that game, but the game, even at a beta stage, and there are some beta issues that are happening with respect to connectivity, and not too bad lag or anything, but connectivity to the game itself. So some bugs, but from a gameplay standpoint, wow, chef's kiss.
Yeah, I've been watching gameplay of it, and I'm actually really excited to jump into it because, Modern Warfare was a lot of fun, Cicero, but it almost got to the point of too realistic feeling. COD is supposed to be that arcadey feel, and that's what Black Ops Cold War looks like. Yeah, that is a mouthful.
Yeah,
jeez.
Yeah, it was. So it's been fun. It's been fun, and. I think it actually, as we were recording, it ends tonight.
It does.
We got an extra day. Sing your Boys to Men, Call of Duty.
Was there full crossplay support in the beta?
Full crossplay support. Yeah.
Wow.
I was able to play. With PC and Xbox. I know that I tried to play with some people that were playing PC, Xbox, and PlayStation, and I couldn't connect to them for some reason. But I have played PC, Xbox,
Cool.
a lot.
Awesome.
Yeah, and there's been no issues whatsoever.
Yeah, I think that was the best thing for Modern Warfare. Go fully crossplay. That was great.
Yeah.
Anything else you've been playing, or is that really what you've been sticking
I mean, that has been occupying a lot of my time. Let's see what else I've been playing. Is I had family over, so I was playing some Fallout, Fall Guys, Fallout guys, Fall Guys, and some Moving Out, Game Pass party game.
Oh, cool! Yeah.
And then I was playing a little bit of. My Yankees got eliminated from the postseason, so I played a little bit of MLB The Show, this year's version, whether it's 20, I think it's 20 and not 21. So yeah, I think it's MLB The Show 20, which is, man, I love that series. It is a system seller for me.
Oh yeah.
So.
I mean, and soon I think next year it's going cross-platform. So, multi-platform rather. Next year.
Is it really?
Yeah,
so
it's
you're gonna be able to play on PC.
Coming to the Xbox, coming to the PC.
What? MLB The Show?
Yeah, dude.
It's Sony Studios.
No, they're going completely multi-platform.
Hey, you're breaking news for me,
you
man.
Didn't know that?
No. Wow.
I don't know if it's next year's or the year after, but they eventually are. They did announce that. I think last year.
Oh man, I missed that. Yeah. Holy crap. Yeah.
Mind blown.
Blown. I'm still gonna be playing on PlayStation though, because it has the greatest feature of any of these sports titles, right? Because I play these games like RPGs, where I do the my player, my career, whatever, be a pro in baseball, and the show is called Road to the Show.
Yeah.
And what they started in like MLB 16 or so was that you could make a character and then carry that character over into the next year.
Yeah.
Right? Because if there's anything that anybody who plays sports games knows, is if you do those my career modes or whatever, doesn't matter how much time you spend with them, you never make it through the point where like a guy is retiring or he's getting old or any of that other stuff before the next one comes out.
Yeah.
So with MLB The Show, you're able to just carry those guys over. So I've got a guy that I've been playing with for 8 seasons.
Is his name Stubby Stan?
No, his name is Frank Sanders. He's the Colonel.
He's the Colonel.
Yeah, he's the Colonel Sanders.
Sounds good.
He's a beast. He's a beast.
All right, Sean, what have you been playing, good sir?
I got my near daily Hades run. Some Genshin Impact. I was going hard on that for a week, and then I decided to not hit a content block, so I'm doing like maybe an hour of that at a time a day. But then I've been reaching back, and I started playing Crawl, which is like a couch co-op dungeon crawler where everyone that's not the person crawling the dungeon is the monsters trying to kill that person. And then if you win, you get to be the person, and the other person goes to be the monsters and the traps and stuff. I've wanted to play it for a long time, but I haven't had people to couch co-op with me, but I found a way to do that with people online this week, and it was a ton of fun.
That's really cool. Yeah, you were telling me about that earlier. We were chatting about there's a third-party solution for those who want to couch co-op over the internet. It's crazy. 2020. I mean, just gotta chalk it up. How is Genshin Impact? I hear the Breath of the Wild comparisons. What are your thoughts on that? Because I've heard some people speak on how it's just not even close to Breath of the Wild. So, what are your thoughts?
I'll say like the first five, like the first like zone that you're in, just so much of it, especially like the trial zones, like it does feel like a complete rip, like down to the music, the types of creature designs, and like just the basic momentum of that. But once you get out of like that first 5 or 10 hours and you get to like Liua, this like second big region, that it starts to have a lot more of its own identity, and starts to shine through and stops being as clearly ripped as maybe the first 5 hours would be, with the assets, but also just the fact that it's like the action mechanics and stuff like that are different. The exploring things are pretty similar, but like what you're doing in the world, like the puzzles and stuff, are slightly different, and the actual like fighting and switching between your teammates and stuff is definitely different than Breath of the Wild.
Gotcha.
Handled all that. Yeah.
Yeah, I have it downloaded on my phone. Have not tried it. Once again, I was telling you earlier that I don't know if I will because I'm not a huge fan of gacha games. You know, those type of mobile
Very
type
fair.
games. But yeah, I mean, seems like a huge game for completely free, which is pretty insane to me. So, anything else you've been playing?
Yeah. Another dive back. I started playing XCOM Chimera Squad.
Nice.
They're like a family share with my roommate.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah, and I love the Snake Lady.
Oh,
So
okay.
that's all I got. I'm only like a few hours into that, so but it's fun.
Gotcha. Well, speaking of turn-based and harkening back to last week, I did say that I would try out this game called Eichenfeld that came into Game Pass, and happy to report that I started it. I'm not far into it, but it seems like a Mike game so far.
Okay.
Yeah, it's got a pretty unique, and you know, I just got into turn-based strategy games, like, I mean, 2-3 years ago maybe. So I'm a baby. I'm an infant in that genre, but but it has a pretty unique, in my eyes, kind of style of combat where there is the turn based, but it's also grid based. You know, kind of like XCOM. You move around, but there's also a timing aspect to it, with your attacks as well as your defense. When an attack is lobbed at you, you can hit A at a certain point to defend a little bit more than what, you know, instead of getting hit for 4, you would get hit for like 1 or something like that. And then as well as your attack, if you press it at the correct time, you hit them for more. If you hit it, you know, at a certain juncture. So that seems like a pretty unique kind of feature to this combat. I don't know if you guys have heard of anything kind of like that before. But yeah, it was unique to me. But yeah, so far, it's pretty cool. You're kind of traveling in the forest to try to find the Wizarding School of Eichenfell, which your sister has been kind of trapped. Usually your sister comes home for the holidays because it's supposed to be summer break right now, and she hasn't. So you are traveling to try to find the school. You eventually find the school, and then I haven't gotten to school yet. So once I get to the school, I'm assuming you're trying to figure out the kind of story behind why she hasn't come home for the summer vacation. Sticking with turn-based strategy, I got back into the Breach, which I think it's one of my favorite turn-based strategy games right now. It really is unique. I was telling Sean this earlier that, like, I think I was texting him over the weekend. I was like, man, I like Into the Breach finally like clicked in my mind. It's like you don't always have to kill defeat all the Vex. You can move them. You can maneuver them around the map to make sure that they're not, hitting the targets that they're going for. And so that kind of finally clicked in my brain. And I'm getting so much farther than I used to, because I also am new to the roguelike genre as well, and Into the Breach brilliantly marries the turn-based and roguelike genres together. So been sticking with Magic and Apex as well. Been playing Magic the Gathering Arena. It's a lot of fun. And then trying to get groups of Among Us people together, and we have some fun with that. So anything else you guys want to chat about? What you've been playing?
I just want to chat about what I'm not playing, which is some Oculus Quest games or VR games on my Oculus Quest.
Yeah,
2,
listeners, Cicero is a little upset about this whole story here.
Yeah,
just slightly.
Yeah, they said it was gonna be here today, but UPS tracking says the label was created on Saturday morning, and UPS still doesn't have it, even though it's supposed to be next day. And it's Monday night now, and it's still in the same status that it was on Saturday morning. I don't have it. It's going to be there forever. I'm never going to get it.
Yeah, listeners, if you are not watching the video version, there is a huge alligator tear coming out of Cicero's left eye. It's hard to miss.
Yeah.
Hard to miss. The Quest 2, the Quest is the one without wires, right?
That is correct,
Yes.
sir.
Okay. Yeah.
That is correct. But you can connect it to your PC. And I think what they're actually going to be doing, what the roadmap is there's 2 products right now. There used to be the Oculus Go, the Rift. I mean, the Oculus Go, the Quest, and then the Rift. Mm-hmm. The Go was completely portable. It was kind of like the Samsung thing that they did.
Yeah.
Oculus did for Samsung. Then they went to the Rift or the Quest, which you can use portably or you can connect to your PC, and then the Rift, which was more powerful, but it was PC only. It sounds like they're going to the Go is gone, has been discontinued. It sounds like they're going to sunset the Rift, and the Quest will be the main line.
Yeah.
So
and it has a pretty favorable price, for the Quest 2. I heard it was
$299 with the controllers.
Yeah,
so which when the original Rift came out, it was $499, and then it was another $300 for those similar controllers. Yep. So it was almost $1,000.
Yeah. And don't forget to connect your Facebook account.
Right. Well, mine is already connected. Like I'm not necessarily a fan of it, but I'm already there.
It is what it is.
Like, yeah. What am I? What do I look like protesting that part? Like, oh, don't get the thing that I want because this company that I use has control over the thing that I want.
Yeah, that's another debate that you can find in episode 3 of something of the Numbers First Take. It's there somewhere. All right, time to move on to the news. Gentlemen, we have some topics here. Destiny 2, the next-gen upgrade is coming in December. Will Destiny ever draw us in? I've never played it.
Really not not at all.
Not really at all. I think I played Destiny 1, and I really only played the PvP stuff. And Destiny 2 has never seen my console. Wow. I mean, it is in Game Pass, and the next gen upgrade is completely free. And so being in Game Pass, therefore it's free once I get my Series X. So, Sean, have you ever considered playing Destiny 2?
I have not for like a second considered playing Destiny 2. I don't even know why. It just hasn't come up for me. People talk about it around me. I'm just like, shrug.
Me and Sean have a mutual friend, and mutual friend Brian, and he's actually been playing Destiny 2. He was telling me he's been getting into it. So, which is weird because if you're listening and you somehow know Brian, he is not a first-person shooter dude. At least in my eyes. But he's changed. Cicero, are you a big Destiny guy? Did you get drawn into Destiny 2?
I've sunk triple-digit hours into Destiny.
Wow.
So like, it's good. I think where I think people who have stayed away from it are staying away from is the reputation of the game as opposed to the game itself. Mm-hmm. Because I think if you're a fan of first-person shooters, or but like you felt like, oh, they're way too competitive, or whatever the case may be, this one is approachable. This one, even when you're playing PvP, you can still feel like accomplished.
Yeah.
And that's really great about it. Graphically, it's great. And then, one of the great things about playing the it's not the MMO portion of it, but it is the portion, the co-op version mm-hmm. of that open world, is that you get to hang out with your friends, know?
Mm-hmm.
And as you're hanging out with your friends, you just you're talking about the day or whatever, and you're playing a game. So instead of going to the bar and doing, having a drink with your friends,
getting COVID,
you're playing, you're playing a game while you level up and get new loot and do other kind of stuff. And it's a good community game.
Yeah. Made by Bungie, fantastic first-person shooter developer. So, it's a good time. You've heard it here, probably for the 1,000th time, not the first time. Cicero approved. Sean, one of your, I would estimate one of your favorite trilogies of all time, Mass Effect. The remastered trilogy has been rated in South Korea. There's been rumors, there's been rumblings. First, is this just inevitable at this point? And second, is this something you want?
I mean, if they're announcing like prices and stuff, it seems like, yeah, I haven't heard about this at all. But also they took a big hit on their last couple things, honestly. So I don't see why they wouldn't try to get goodwill back before attempting anything else in this universe and get money again. It seems like a easy shot for them to make. I don't think, unless they do something like, if it's just like a straight re-release of the games with like maybe better like graphics or something, I wouldn't be tempted to come back at all. If they like actually added something to it, I could be convinced, but I generally don't go for remasters and stuff like that.
Now, let me hit you with a curveball here. Mm-hmm. What if they remade Mass Effect 1 but with Mass Effect 3 combat? You think that would be worth play? Because I've heard rumblings that because I've never played the trilogy, but Mass Effect 1, I've heard the story is pretty regarded as the best of the trilogy, but with some terrible combat. At least the combat doesn't really hold up. What would you think about that?
Yeah, I was thinking of that as I was answering before, and I just think like I've done that combat, and like it's just I'm not really drawn to redo those things. I kind of have. I may have replayed like 1 and 2 once or twice, but with those I generally have like my run, and then I kind of move on unless I have like an idea to roleplay really hard. So I don't think for me specifically the combat would do anything, especially if I'm getting all three. I could just play Mass Effect 3 again or whatever.
Yeah.
If I wanted that combat, but
Gotcha.
I'm sure it'll draw people for sure. If
Oh
they did
yeah,
that.
I mean, I think Mass Effect Trilogy Remaster is going to draw people regardless. Cicero, do you think this trilogy is going to have the Super Mario All-Stars treatment, where just not really upgraded, just rezzed up, or do you think they're going to do something special?
Man, I couldn't really envision a world where they change Mass Effect, the original, to have the combat of the third ones until you said that. But even still, like, man, that game was built differently as well. So, and it was kind of built around the combat, or it was built with the combat in mind. And I think that if you change the combat, you would have to change a lot of other things about that game that doesn't, like, is it, so like it's a remastered version of the games. It's not a reimagining, is it? Like,
I believe it's just a remaster. Yes.
It's okay. So like if they call it a reimagining, then then that means that they're getting into the metaphorical, nuts and bolts of the game itself, and really redoing it. Not George Lucas special edition versions, but like an actual remake of the games. But so I don't think that they're gonna do that. It would, I don't even know if it would be cool. It would definitely be like, oh, all right, like it'd be something that I'd notice and give them kudos for, but I don't know if it would be good. And I don't know if that studio can afford to take a chance on doing something that may be cool but falls flat, as opposed to doing something safe that they know people like.
Yeah. Oh, I agree. Yeah, BioWare with their recent rumblings with Andromeda and Anthem, I think they need a good hit to come out. So
yeah. Damn it, I forgot about Anthem. I keep looking at it like, oh man, I should play that game again just to see how it is, and then I'm like, nah, I don't want to put myself through it. It's what a beautiful game though. What a beautiful looking game. And flying those mechs was just what an awesome, like, Iron Man like feeling.
Yeah. I have heard.
And there was the rest.
I have heard that they got the Iron Man feeling a little bit better than our next game. Man, what a segue! I'm gassing myself up on that.
Yeah, well done.
Well done.
or did I just set you up like that?
I mean, I'll give you 50% credit. I'll like.
All right, I'll take the assist, man. I'll be out here like Jason Kidd.
I'm a generous man. Square Enix has delayed Avengers DLC and their next-gen version of the game. Cicero, why don't we start with you? Is this a good thing for this game as a service? I asked that with that angle because delayed content in a game as a service, a lot of fans don't necessarily enjoy and particularly like.
Well, I mean, the game's already hit ambivalent. Speaking of Anthem, right? Reverse segue. The
dang it, he just took my 50%.
Right. So, like, the games as a service have their kryptonite is ambivalence. And, when people become ambivalent about the things that you're doing to make your game better, then it almost doesn't matter what you do, because like you're just digging yourself in a hole. You're just digging a deeper hole for yourself, with the hope that you'll be able to trap a bunch of people in there, and then they'll help the game or whatever. What was that? What's the Warframe? Warframe was a game that was able to do that successfully, but most of them, and to some extent, Destiny has been able to do that somewhat successfully. As they were starting to hit ambivalence, they came out with a bunch of new content that really made people pay attention. They hit ambivalence again, and they lost a couple of people, but then they came back in a very big way. But I don't know if this game is mature enough to get through that, because the highs were very, very high for Avengers in terms of people's adoration for the game, and then the lows were cavernous and very, very quickly. They appeared very quickly. So I don't know, man. I think I'm afraid that this battle station will be completely operational when your friends arrive. So, or should I have said that like the Emperor, and then it would have made more sense. But I think it'll be too little, too late.
Okay, Sean, what are your thoughts?
I don't have any. I'm not gonna be honest. I mostly agree with what Cicero said. Like, I think it's so early, and it's already been kind of ambivalent. That it's a bad sign. But I mean, if it's really sick, it could work out for them.
Man, yeah. I mean, it's an interesting situation. I think I agree with you, Cicero, that there's a lot of lows in this game, but I think you used the correct word, cavernous. They're like these are huge holes that they're kind of in, and had apparently a great single player campaign. A story that was pretty memorable, I've heard, but at the end of the day, if you're touting a service game, it's got to be good gameplay and not repetitive. So. Hopefully, maybe some of this next gen update and this Avengers DLC can bring some new life into the game. Gentlemen, are you ready for our newest segment? It's 3 weeks old. Rapid fire. You guys ready?
Fire it off.
Fire it off.
Yeah.
Listeners,
got my LMG ready
with his 100-round mag.
Oh my! He's on fire!
Listeners, if you don't know, if you're new to the 90s First, we have a rapid fire section where I will bring up a question, and only one of our panelists here is going to answer. So we'll just keep it quick and short with some of the news stories that we didn't want to get to in a bigger way. So here, rapid fire. Sean, we'll start with you. Joe Biden has found his way into Animal Crossing. Sean, is this something that future politicians should consider, or should video games be void of politics?
I shudder every time someone asks, should video games be void of politics, because that's just not possible. But I think also this was just like a dumb thing that was a reach out to the younger generation that I don't know if it worked. I suspect it didn't. Having his intern make an island real quick for him, just because like AOC, who's actually like Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, who's like actually a gamer, that like worked for her, and she got some points for that, for showing off her island over the summer and such. I don't know. It's a weird maneuver, is what I'll say.
Wait, there's politics in my video game, Sean?
Always. Every time.
All right. Cicero, Watchdog Legions comes out on the 29th. Are you excited for this game at all?
No, I'm not excited. I am hella excited.
Okay.
Yeah, I can't wait. I can't wait for this game. I've been watching the previews. They look incredible. The original Watch Dogs was great concept, but Watch Dogs 2 I thought was phenomenal, and they really seem to have outdone themselves with Watch Dogs Legions. Just the thought of being able to recruit anybody that you see is just incredible. I can't wait.
I am excited for this game as well. I played Watch Dogs 1 and thought it was brilliant. I loved it. So, yeah, shout out to Watch Dogs Legion. Sean, Mr. Roguelike himself. Spelunky 2 developer has made the first level easier due to a lot of players not getting past it. Do you like this move, or should people just get good?
People should just get empathy. I think the rest of the game will help people, satisfy themselves on what Spelunky is, which is learning a system via, experiencing death to it a lot. There's a lot of levels past the first zone, so it's fine.
It's fine. Yeah, I mean, hopefully a lot of people get past that first zone and enjoy Spelunky 2. And rounding out our rapid fire, Cicero, Miles Morales can use a bodega cat as a weapon in the upcoming game. You're even more excited for this game now, aren't you?
You stupid. No, yo. So like, yeah, I guess Miles is from Washington Heights, so he's got bodega cats. He shouldn't use the bodega cat as a weapon. I think that is cruel. But I would love to see what happens if you actually are able to get the bodega cat to move. If you need that bread that's under that bodega cat, you're not getting that bread. You're just gonna be eating bologna and cheese, non-sandwiches. That is, you're just eating peanut butter and jelly, not sandwiches. But
you heard it here first.
Yeah.
Peanut butter and jelly is
I love
not a
it,
sandwich. Not a sandwich.
Well, not if the last loaf is under a bodega cat.
Yeah, that's true. I do. Complete side note: I do have to thank Sony for putting this on my PS4. Thank you, friends. All right, gentlemen. That concludes rapid fire. Are you ready for the segment of all segments? Test your might.
Test your might.
Test your might.
If you didn't listen to last week's episode, go back really quick. I put some cool transitions in that episode, and I'm very proud of it. So, all right,
But not this one.
No, there will be no transition.
No transition.
Gentlemen, test your might time. You got the topics ahead of time. You guys know what you want to argue. So, Sean v. Cicero. Who's going to win? Who has the most might? First off, Cicero, we'll start with you because I believe you're more of a sports game guy than Sean is. So we're going to start with you on this. NBA 2K21 silently added unskippable ads into loading screens of the current gen version of the game. Is this uncalled for, or does it really matter? Cicero.
It's uncalled for that people are making a big deal out of this. It does not matter. Because if you watch the video even, like I've played a lot of 2K20, there are ads in the game before you start the game. But even if you watch the clip that everybody is in an uproar about, the game itself is loading. And the ad is done before the game is done loading. So there's nothing you could do anyway. You'd be sitting there watching a video, whether it's a commercial or it's NBA 2K propaganda. It's still something that's unskippable and unwatchable because you're loading the game. Now, if the load times increase and you still have those ads, then maybe we can have a conversation then. But at least for right now, it doesn't matter.
Sean, rebuttal.
Yeah, I haven't seen these ads, but it seems like if they're just like a regular commercial or whatever, the biggest danger is that you can't like look at your phone during the load times. I mean, I guess it's just not a good long-term plan with all these load times disappearing with the next gen, right?
Right? Yeah.
What are they gonna do?
So not really a rebuttal in agreement, I think.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah. I expected to have one, but
I just had
I don't know.
I just had the perfect argument. I'm sorry, guys.
I guess.
I am James Carville.
Cicero, any expansion on this thought, or is that just
No, I
complete?
mean, yeah, I just, I said it all the first time around.
Oh.
Doesn't need to be said
You
again.
heard it here. It was the first take. I love it. All right. Sean, will go your way first with our next topic. Phil Spencer has now said, he has been quoted, that Microsoft doesn't have to release Bethesda games on PS5 to recoup the $7.5 billion they spent on ZeniMax. Is this wishful thinking, or can they go full exclusive?
So unconditionally, they could make that money back. The real question is, how quickly do their investors want them to make it back? That's always the question, is how quickly do they need to make money? And I think with that, even with that, they could go full exclusive, but I don't suspect they will. But yeah, I think after the whatever deals already made are wrapped up, they could just go full exclusive and make it. They control like a large amount of like the share that isn't of like game purchases that isn't Sony, so I think they'd be fine.
I think it'd be fine going full exclusive. All right.
Yep.
Cicero, what you got?
So here's what you got to understand. You got to dig down deep into the mind of a Phil Spencer. And here's what he was saying. He was saying they don't have to make it exclusive, right? But they're so generous, they're so magnanimous of a company, but that they will make it available to multiple platforms. And so there will be games that are exclusive, like we've said before, but most of those games will be multi-platform because kind of as Sean said, it depends. They've got stockholders that they're beholden to, and those stockholders want them to make money faster than slower. And the way you make your money faster than slower is you make your stuff available on as many platforms as possible. And if those platforms are willing to pay a premium to have those things on their platform, then you let them pay you that money. So that's what they're going to do. They're going to say, look, I didn't even have to let you have this, but I'm gonna. And it's gonna try and make them look even cooler in the long and the short term.
Phil Spencer with his sunglasses on, nice and cool. Sean, you got a rebuttal?
Nope. We're the same on this one.
Man, this is
Once again.
you can't even test your
Yeah, I'm
might.
sorry, you
Yes.
can't put us against testing our might against each other.
You guys are too like-minded. This is
Right.
I'm just kidding, guys. It's fun.
Test your might. There's two Rams going up against each other.
You guys button heads. All right.
Yeah.
The PS5 user experience has been revealed, or at least a little bit of it. Hopefully you guys maybe watched a couple clips of it. Cicero, will go your way first. Do you like the UI and some of the features, or is Xbox's better?
Well, so I guess by default I would have to say, well, I like the UI, and by default I would have to say that the PS5's is better because I haven't seen much of the Xbox UI. We saw a little bit of it earlier. What we've got here on the PC is presumably what we're going to see if you're an Xbox, primary Xbox player like I am. You've seen an update recently on your Xbox that probably would be very similar to what you're going to see on your Xbox Series
It's the
going
same
forward.
thing, actually.
Yeah. Oh, okay. And I mean, look, it's the Xbox UI is functional. It works. I understand it, and it does what it needs, what I need it to do, and it's intuitive. The PS5 one is new and different, and it's doing some of the same things that the Xbox service has done. The Xbox dashboard stuff is done, like achievement tracking and that kind of stuff. But they're doing some other things with it that were really cool. The being able to share in a party your stream, that's awesome. That's really, really cool.
Yeah.
That's something that I wind up doing on Discord all the time, sitting and chatting with people and either watching their stream of their game that they're playing or vice versa. To be able to do that on your console is going to be really cool. So right now, yes, PS5 for me.
All right, Sean.
I love tiles, and therefore Xbox One is great. I think all these additional user experiences that PlayStation 5 will just get confusing for me, and I don't need all that. I don't need all these options. I want to play a game. No, but seriously, I unfortunately agree with Cicero.
I love it.
I too have been going with the recent streaming with each other on Discord, and it's another one of these PC features that is making it onto a
I'll
console.
see you guys later.
Just like the alt tab did 2 weeks ago. Just like the alt tab 2 weeks ago, now we're getting screen sharing, and it's great.
Man.
Yeah.
And it looks fine.
Yeah. And here's a thing that I will say is they didn't do a lot to that PS4 dashboard with this PS5 one, but the little bit that they've done really scratched an itch for me, because I thought the interface from the PS3 to the PS4, whatever they call that thing, I thought it was awful. It was functional and in the ways that it worked once you understood how it worked, and then it got progressively better from that route. But if this is what they're doing and this is what it took to get there, then yeah, fine, it took them 20 years, but they finally got it right. This looks really, really cool.
I will argue then. I have never I have never liked the side scrolling UI. Although I 100% agree with you with the screen sharing and also the game progress and the level progress aspects to it, where
that level progress thing,
where
very dope.
Now here's the thing: I don't think every single developer is going to take advantage of that.
No.
But at the end of the day, it is really cool that you can jump in at a specific point in a certain level. I think that
I was just gonna say that not every developer at first will jump in on that, but if people keep talking about how awesome that is for the games where it is there, then every developer is going to jump on that, and it will be something that you'll see on competing platforms.
Oh yeah, you'll see it on Xbox eventually if it's something that the community is crying for. But at the end of the day, I'm going to make Sean's fake argument for him. I liked all my I do like the tile aspect of the Xbox Series, the dashboard, as well as the way your games and your library is kind of formatted, because especially on the PS4, like just having every game installed and you just have to go a side scroll. Yeah, you could have folders and stuff, but you have to pretty much side scroll the whole way to get to whichever game you want to get to. I've always preferred the Xbox. And at the end of the day, I think Xbox gets you to the games quicker. The UI does. I do think the PS5 will definitely get you to them pretty fast as well, especially coming out of that idle, the idle state of power instead of a full reboot. But yeah, I also don't need a 4K home screen. It's just not necessary.
Yeah, you say that, but I will say this, that my TV continues to switch back from standard def when I'm on the dashboard to 4K HDR when I'm going to certain games or I'm going into certain apps. I would prefer it if, and unfortunately Hulu is not 4K yet, but Netflix is 4K. Amazon, most of the stuff on Amazon is 4K. I would prefer it if it just stayed in one state. So, and if like my Xbox is my smart TV for my, as my main television, that's my entertainment device. So if it's not switching between different states all the time, that's going to be something, one less component, one less cycle on the CPU, on the board, on the TV. It will make the TV last longer, right?
Yeah, I guess.
So
think about it that way.
Old man logic, baby.
All right, next topic, and I refuse to let you guys agree on this one. You are taking aside the launch lineups for next-gen consoles have fully been revealed. Which one is better? You guys cannot choose the same. Cicero, which one are you choosing?
All right. Well, when we say the lineups for next-gen consoles have been revealed, we're talking about next-gen games. And if we want next-gen games, you want them on your Sony PlayStation 5, because that is the place where the next-gen games will be. Yes, sure, there are going to be some of those next-gen games on the current gen, but they're going to be next-gen-er, the next-gen-ist on the PlayStation 5.
With the dual sense. They have more sense than the PS4 version.
Yeah, they got more sense, baby.
All right, Sean. He has pigeoned you to the almost cataclysmic argument that you might have to overcome here. Is the Xbox lineup better, and your reasoning why? You're muted.
I'm glad you put "is it," because it sounds like you're not trying to be a console warmonger here. But no, I can definitely make the argument for the Series
Let's
X.
go.
I mean, what about me? I haven't had a console ever. I don't care if it was on PS4 or Xbox One before. I haven't played it yet. I want it to look great, and Xbox Series X is gonna have more things launching at first. I don't necessarily like. Yeah, I'm looking at this stuff, and I think this is the time to get into Yakuza. Why not? I've wanted to get into Tetris Effect. I've heard that it is like sublime and superb, and I think getting into that with also the option to play with my friends sounds like a great time over on the Xbox Series X. Other than that, like if I'm looking also at the like exclusives here, Falconeer looks kind of dope, is what I'll say. I would love to ride a big bird more than I need to play another Souls-like, even though those things are so much my jam. And if I'm, and I haven't played Spider-Man since the PS2, and that can continue for me personally. I got the comics still.
So Sean, I will say, I could hear in your voice how much you really wanted to say that the PlayStation 5 has the better of the lineups, because those Souls are your jam. And if you knew what I know, since you haven't played a Spider-Man game since the PS2 era, that not only playing Miles Morales, but playing the original Insomniac Spider-Man game would be much better and greater than Tetris Effect, even though Tetris Effect is sublime. Spider-Man, Insomniac Spider-Man was my game of the generation, this current generation. There was not a game that I played that I felt more affected by than that game, that I felt was the perfect game for people who are just slightly above casual gamers. That the Venn diagram of people that love games love that game. So you're missing out on that by choosing the Xbox. And gamers don't want to do that. Gamers don't want to miss out at launch playing Miles Morales, playing the next Souls-like, playing whatever is going on behind me in my basement. This is PlayStation's world.
Behind your basement?
I have no idea what's happening in my basement. I just hear it banging through my headphones. But this is a Sony world, and we are going to use the next gen controllers. Everything is new with Sony. And that's not what you're getting with Microsoft in that lineup. All old comfy stuff in the couch.
Sean, rebuttal.
Well, I'm looking over the moderator here, and it looks like it's either I choose Xbox or death. So it seems like I'm sticking with Xbox. It's fine. No. That was eloquently put, for sure. But I don't know. You're coming at me with this pitch of like just above casual gamers. I can't believe you would look at me and think I'm anything but like the gamiest of gamers, who's set in their old ways and doesn't need a newfangled controller, but just the core gaming experience.
Right, just give me one button. I don't need any more buttons.
Yeah.
For the record, no Seans were harmed in the recording of this podcast.
Because I chose correctly.
Yes, exactly. And all those third-party games are going to look better on the 12 teraflop Series X. And Sean's right. He is the gamiest of gamers. He could play with his backwards compatible controllers. He doesn't need to upgrade.
So, Sean, let me ask you: if you were given first choice, what would you have picked?
Wait, you cannot ruin the podcast.
I wasn't.
Oh,
yeah,
right.
No, I wasn't. I was honestly gonna take whatever. I was gonna take whatever.
Oh, all right. Oh, well,
I was hoping
very,
you went
very,
first.
very good political answer right there. Well done.
Yeah.
Well done.
Wait, there's politics in video games?
Keeping it
Yeah. Yeah. Right.
every time.
Gentlemen, well argued. Even though two of the questions, actually three, you guys all agreed on, and the last one I made you disagree on. But we'll move on. I'm gonna have to choose better test your might questions next week.
Or just get people who are wrong. Just get one side that is wrong,
That's
and then you're set.
Hey, that's usually me or Cicero. that's
Right,
rude.
right.
Not in my experience. I don't know.
See, well, there you go. Sean is the unifier, man.
In all seriousness, I do think that having Miles Morales on PS4 does hurt their launch lineup a little bit. But it
does hurt the FOMO.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm. It does.
And yeah.
But overall, I think I still think it's a little better. I mean, you could play Assassin's Creed Valhalla on the PS5 too, like I really now if Halo Infinite didn't get delayed, then I think it'd be an even much better argument for the Series X. But anyway, let's move on to our leaderboard section, where we discover the top 5 of a certain topic. And as a topic that relates to Watch Dogs Legion being released next week, we're going to talk about the top 5 open world games. So, gentlemen, let's start our leaderboard. Let's get the top 5 open world games. Well, since I went Cicero's way first on the last Test Your Might, let's go Sean's way first here. What are some of your suggestions for open world games?
Well, maybe we define our terms a little bit here
Right,
first. What are we
yes.
gonna consider as an open world game?
Right.
I think is where we should start with.
Right. So it's like, is original Zelda open world versus Breath of the Wild, which is open world, right?
Yeah. Okay.
Right? Like,
I would hold the argument that it's like I don't know. I would hold the argument that it's like one continuous world, I guess. But I mean, is the original Zelda continuous in that sense? I don't know.
yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I mean,
I think it's technically sectioned, but yeah, I don't know. But yeah, I think like you can walk around on the map and go where you want, but then it divide like you could go into a dungeon or whatever.
Yeah.
But what if there are like multiple maps, where like it's a big open world thing, but there's like 2 of them?
Oh man.
Because I feel like there's definitely games like that.
Well, show your hand, man. Like you
Yeah.
can't.
Yeah. I'm not gonna start with those. I'm gonna start with Outer Wilds because that's my game of the. That's like one of my top 2 of the generation, and the whole world's right there. There's not even any dungeons. The physics is great. The story is great, and there's not even a skybox. It's all literally
open.
all of the worlds
yeah,
are right
okay.
there.
I got you. Yeah, I mean, I think you're like just a section of a game, just like the game in and of itself, where you can see your next point. You know, like you think of Breath of the Wild, you could see the next place that you want to go. It's just completely open world. I agree with that estimate. And also, like, just why don't you just suggest what you suggest, and then we can have a discourse on it. It's not a problem, you know.
That's fine. Yeah.
Like Cicero, if you think the original Legend of Zelda is an open world, then let's discuss it when it comes to your turn. So, Sean, other suggestions?
Oh, we're still going down. All right. Dragon's Dogma.
Dragon's Dogma. Okay, never played it. But it is up there.
It's pretty good.
All right. Any other suggestions?
Sekiro, Shadows Die Twice.
Speaking of Souls-like.
Complete sidebar. Do you think that's the definitive Souls-like? Do you think it's your favorite?
Oh, I haven't played like Bloodborne,
okay.
but it's my
Gotcha.
favorite. That and 2. Dark Souls
Gotcha.
2.
Any other suggestions for us, Sean?
Minecraft.
Okay. All right.
I can keep going, so we should switch. I've got like
All right,
9 of
Cicero,
them, so-
go ahead.
Let's get this out of the way right away.
Only dangerous.
GTA 3.
GTA 3.
I mean, it's not the best one, but it is the one that was the most transformative.
I was gonna say it's got to be the most influential, like, open world. You know, it's the first, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's
Unfortunately, the reason I got a PS2.
Yeah. Yeah, that was the first, like, oh my gosh, like, what is this? Yeah, let's see. Other open world games that Assassin's Creed Odyssey.
Okay.
So
You would choose Assassin's Creed Odyssey over anything else? Any of the other Assassins?
I would, yes.
Okay.
Yes, so I would choose it because they didn't really go open world until Origins. You know, like the other ones were open world ish.
Honestly, I would argue all of them are open world. Besides the side scrolling ones.
Well, yes,
Yeah.
right. But even yeah, I guess mostly. AC2 I felt like you were in certain sections and then you went to different sections. And then you were in different maps, like kind of like what Sean was saying, where that like you were in one map and that was a big open world, and then you were in another map and that was a big open world, and as the story progressed, you were in open worlds in these different places or whatever. But Origins was the first one where it was like, hey, here's the world, right? And logically, you should probably be in one of these places, but you can go wherever you want. And Odyssey, I think, is the one that did that the best so far. We haven't seen Valhalla yet.
All right, what's your next suggestion?
I'm gonna go The Outer Worlds as opposed to Outer Wilds. Yeah, just open world RPG.
Now,
lots and lots of fun.
Now, I've been playing The Outer Worlds, and this is where I think your argument comes into more effect when you are arguing some of the original Assassin's Creeds. Outer Worlds, I think, is less of an open world in the sense that, like, I do believe that each of the maps is a little more limited than I would say like a Breath of the Wild. Like you're going to different planets and there's a loading screen in between those planets. So I mean that's where I would come from. I've been thoroughly enjoying the Outer Worlds. Is it truly open world? I'm not 100% sold on that. But you can definitely argue for it though.
Yeah. I mean, my argument for Outer Worlds would be that, like, yes, you're loading the planets, but once you get to the planet, like, the planet is the planet, and you can go wherever you want, whenever you want, in whatever order you want.
Okay.
So even the worlds that seem infinite are finite. I think the Outer Worlds does a poorer job of making you aware of its limitations in that respect than a game like Breath of the Wild or even GTA 5, which could have easily, or Red Dead 2, which could have easily been my replacement of instead of GTA 3 on this list. In fact, I'm going to throw Red Dead 2 into this list as well.
Okay. I would personally disagree with Red Dead 2 just because of the gameplay, but I will not argue its world. Like it is brilliant and just absolutely massive and wonderfully made. I will not argue against that. That's for sure. All right.
There's my 4.
Okay. I'll throw in some as well. Cicero, I gotta go with your game of the generation, man. It's one of my favorites. Spider-Man. Spider-Man recently. I beat that this year. It took me a while because I was kind of playing it with my son. He loved.
Oh man, what a great game to play with.
Yeah, just he loves Spider-Man. It's like his favorite superhero. And so, In fact, I put a Spider-Man onesie on my 1-year-old, and I was like, Caleb, what is he wearing? He's like, oh, it's Spider-Man. So it's just it's one of the open worlds that I have recently beat. To be honest, open worlds for a stay-at-home dad and a father of small ones, it is so hard to sink your teeth into an open world and actually finish it. Spider-Man is sticking with the superhero genre. I gotta go Arkham City. Arkham City is one of my favorite open worlds of all time. It's one of my favorite games of all time.
Really?
Yeah. One of my top 5 favorite games. Loved it.
Better than Arkham. So the second one,
Yes.
not Arkham
Yeah,
Knight.
not Arkham
Yeah.
Knight.
Yeah. Okay.
And then I'll hold off with Assassin's Creed 2, just because you mentioned Assassin's Creed Odyssey, so I think it's only fair that we just have one on there. I would almost make an argument for GTA 5 over GTA 3. And here's the angle that I'm coming from. GTA 5 is legitimately the only GTA that I've ever finished the story. Like GTA 3, I grew up in an era, and Sean's the same age as me, where you just grabbed a car and you drove around and you got 5 stars and you tried to run away. Like that was me playing GTA 3.
That was the game. That was the game.
So I would almost argue 5 over 3. Would you agree, or?
Yeah. So I mean, definitely put it on your list. I will say okay. So are you putting it on your list, or are you replacing GTA 3, or are you putting GTA 3 and GTA 5 as our debate?
I guess it's up to all of us 3 here, but ultimately I would think GTA 5 just usurps GTA 3. That's just me personally, though. So
okay. So I will say this much, that when I was belly aching over Red Dead 2, it was whether or not it was in favor of GTA 5 instead of that was my deliberation, was Red Dead 2 or GTA 5.
Gotcha. Okay.
Because I personally, I think GTA 5 is the better game than Red Dead 2. But Red Dead 2 is just like that open world was phenomenal. Just the diversity of things you could do.
All right, Sean, what say you?
I didn't go there, so.
Okay.
So yeah, if you're talking about taking that or Red Dead 2, I guess if you want to do 5 instead, that's totally cool with me. I think there was something to like the historical argument for GTA 3.
I agree with that. Okay. Then let's keep both on the list right now, and then we'll kind of argue, which one is best. You know what? I just thinking upon it right now, I haven't finished a lot of open world games, so I'm just gonna keep it at those 3. They're kind of my favorites of all time: Spider-Man, Arkham City, GTA 5. Sean, do you have any other suggestions before we kind of like pick the top 5? And then obviously Cicero, if you have any other suggestions as well.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah. Breath of the Wild.
Right.
We've
Yeah,
talked
there
about
it is. Yeah, there it is. I was like, I mean, we can't have this list and
it.
not have Breath of the Wild on the list.
Yeah,
so,
for sure.
Not Genshin Impact.
It's on a to be seen.
Right.
You know how it goes past the first
So
month.
I would be remiss if I didn't add the greatest open world game of all time on this list, and that is Elite Dangerous.
I was gonna put that if you didn't, but I was wondering how the heck you would.
Yeah. So
He only references it every time he's on the show.
Right. It's the reason I'm mad that I don't have my VR.
Oh
Yeah,
man, that's got to be something you are so looking forward to.
Oh. So I mean, just an argument for Elite Dangerous. I don't know if it'll make our top 5, but an argument for Elite Dangerous is it almost can't get any more open world. Kind of like Minecraft, it can't get any more open world than Elite Dangerous. 400 billion stars. You do what you want, when you want, how you want. And there's physics and all sorts of nonsense that you have to account for as you're playing the game.
Okay, I hear you. I hear you. Okay. Sean, any other suggestions besides Breath of the Wild?
Yoku's Island Express. A pinball Metroidvania. Which is an open world.
It's an open world?
I mean,
open world,
Metroidvanias are open worlds.
pinball, Metrovania. Yeah, Metrovanias are open world. Yeah, but it's just screen to screen.
Okay.
Which I guess doesn't that make the original Zelda a Metrovania?
Yes. Oh, I mean, maybe, yeah. It certainly makes it open for the open world discussion,
Right.
which is why I was asking.
Okay. All right. We have Breath of the Wild on here. We don't need the original Legend of Zelda. I completely slept on one, and yes, slept is a pun here. Sleeping Dogs was a very underrated open world game.
Yeah, it is.
It's very underrated.
Isn't it Police Story? What is it called now? Or was it something before and now it's Sleeping
No,
Dogs?
it's always been Sleeping Dogs.
Oh, okay.
Maybe. I don't know.
Yes. No. I think you're right.
Yeah, Sleeping Dogs I do believe is very underrated. I definitely think it's worth a shot. I think like GTA 5, did it better. So, it probably won't hit our top 5, but shout out to that for sure.
Yeah.
You guys, I think we can maybe round out our top 5 from this list. Do you think, or is there anything we're missing?
Let's go for it.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
If there's one for me personally that I think needs to be on this list, I think Arkham City needs to over Spider-Man, and here's why. I think Arkham City had slightly better storytelling than Spider-Man did. Even though Spider-Man's story is pretty fun, I think that the Joker story and the storytelling of the Arkham City is just slightly better. I give that a slight edge. So I would like Arkham City on that list. I don't know if you guys agree.
Remind me Arkham City's story, because I think I'm mixing it with Arkham Knight's story. Arkham City is the one where the spoiler happens with the Joker.
Yes.
And then Arkham Knight is the one where the spoiler happens with Batman.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Oh yeah, that is a really cool story.
So that would from my list, that would probably be the one that I would want to throw on our top 5. I mean, there's certainly potentially arguably better games on this list, but that's from my personal list that I would throw on there.
Okay. All right. Oh man. So every time we do these lists, I wind up arguing for a game that I didn't add. So I'm going
Okay,
to
we're not in
make.
Touch Your Might anymore.
I'm going to
I agree.
make the argument for GTA 5 to be on the list.
Okay.
because I actually just started playing again GTA 5 and Red Dead 2 on PC. And while Red Dead 2 again is incredibly impressive, just like all the way around is just impressive, and to know the things that I'm able to do in the game is just mind-blowing, and what an achievement. GTA 5 is more fun. GTA 5 is the game where I was like, oh man, this game is fun, and oh yeah, the heist, like all of that stuff in this game. And then when you, like, the very first time you switch between the characters,
Yes.
and then you can drop in and out on the characters, and that's crazy. And then, you know, GTA Online works and it makes sense, and they've got heists, and, you know, like, GTA 5 is just, like, Red Dead 2 was a technical achievement in its own way, but GTA 5 it may be one of the greatest games that's ever been.
It's more of a game. Like, Red Dead 2 is certainly a game, but you can't even run in your own campground. Like, why can't you run?
Right.
I don't know. And guys, I'm very sorry to kind of cut into this argument, but we don't have an Elder Scrolls on here, or even like a Fallout. Like, should we have those on here? Like,
Outer Worlds. That's I got an Outer Worlds
Yeah.
game on it. It's Obsidian's represented, but yeah, Bethesda is not.
I mean, Sean, would you argue for Skyrim or like Oblivion or?
I have other things I would put above
Okay.
it. If I wanted to be,
You know, I mean,
I'm okay
I
with
know
less
this
that
game
biased,
is not
I might
having
put
like
it
Elder
in.
Scrolls on this
Right.
list. I've never beaten one, so I mean, this is
I know that there are people. So there are probably people that are screaming, "There's no Elder Scrolls. There's no Fallout." They're also screaming, "There is no Witcher. The Witcher 3
Witcher
is not on
3?
this list."
Okay.
And my argument is it's not. One thing that to know about me is, while I love high fantasy novels and now video media, I just, they don't do anything for me in video game format. Like, they just don't. I don't play them. Like, and so like I played Skyrim, and I was like, oh, okay, I get it. And no, not for me. Dragon Age, okay, I get it. Not for me. And The Witcher, like, I own it. I've never booted it up. You know, but Cyberpunk, I'm gonna boot that
I'm gonna
up.
boot that up. Okay, then yeah. I mean, let's move through then. So arguably, currently we have Arkham City on there and GTA 5 on there. Sean, are you gonna think anything is gonna be Breath of the Wild on this list, or like, you know, Sekiro, Outer Wilds? What are you thinking?
I'm gonna first pick on the board, and also like first suggestion and first pick I want solidly on the board is Outer Wilds. Yeah, I can go over it all again, but I think just the fact, like, it is the most like open thing that there is, and every region has explicit, like, unique, cool, like, puzzle mechanics in it that, like, aren't gated behind anything. You could do anything in any order, and it's so open you could technically beat it in half an hour.
Well,
But you won't.
won't.
It also has different mechanics that usually aren't in open world games, like the time loop, stuff like that. So
Okay, so currently I have, in no particular order, Outer Wilds, Arkham City, and GTA 5 on our top 5 list. Cicero, got an argument for something else here?
I mean, selfishly, Elite Dangerous. It's probably the least excessive, or the least accessible game on the list. There were a lot of there's a lot of alliteration in that. It is, in terms of an open world, like I said before, it doesn't get any more open than that, and it is, some people say it's a game, others say it's a way of life. But
it's a way of life for Cicero.
It's open to your world.
Right. It is definitely a thing that I play and very much enjoy. So I will make an argument for Elite Dangerous.
Okay.
I want to agree on that just because a thing I would have, if I had thought about it, would have been like No Man's Sky, and I think having one of those two is necessary. Not that they're totally like conflatable, but the idea that there's all the space out there.
Right.
To
I
explore
think I'm totally okay with having Elite Dangerous on there as well. Just just kind of the envy that I sometimes have when Cicero talks about it. It's kind of annoying. You got to stop bringing it up. All right, then let's get a fifth game on here. Are people going to just completely spit in our faces if we don't have Breath of the Wild on here, or?
I kind of think yes. I kind of think yes.
For sure.
So, I mean, personally, I don't even think Breath of the Wild is the best Zelda.
Really?
Yeah.
What do you think the best Zelda is?
I don't think it's the best, but I have a place in my heart for Twilight Princess. But I think Ocarina of Time is probably the best.
Right.
But I'm sorry, I just don't like the weapon system in Breath of the Wild. It's so hard for me to get over. And honestly, so.
Which part of it?
Yeah, the breaking specifically. That's stop. Oh, stop.
Sean, I think Sean just told you to get good.
He did. But,
yeah, Spelunky, you don't need to get good for that. Breath of the Wild, get good. I don't know. Game of the generation. I don't know what to tell you.
Oh, stop. It's just hard for me to invest the time into a game that consistently breaks my weapons. That's all. There's real life situations that play into that. I do believe I think we will put Breath of the Wild here on the 5th slot here, but I think it's because of just its innovativeness. Like, you could literally climb everywhere, you could go anywhere. There are things in this world that you could play off each other, elemental. Like, I think it's so cool that you can lay a sword down to finish a puzzle that needs a current going through metal. You could lay down a sword, stuff like that. You could chop down a tree and then hit it with the stop time thing and then just ride it halfway across the map. I think in that way it's extremely brilliant. I think our list would be shot down if we don't have it on there.
I have a compromise for you.
Sure.
If breakable weapons is too much of a burden for you, there's another game on this list that you can climb so many different things. It has weird interactions for the open world game system, and this is Dragon's Dogma, where you climb your enemies, and it has a bunch of those weird like elemental interactions, and also does some neat storytelling decisions, more so than Breath of the Wild would have.
I think Breath of the Wild will still be on our list, but valiant effort.
Right.
Valiant effort.
Just figured I'd offer the olive branch after.
Mike is saying he wants to make sure that whatever listeners we have this week we'll have next week.
Yeah, I mean,
look, angry emails are engagement.
We've already lost the Red Dead 2.
I say
people.
as just
We've
a
already
guest.
lost the Red Dead 2. So.
Right.
I mean, another open world, another Rockstar game that is killer is Red Dead 1, Red Dead Redemption. Like, that's.
Oh yeah, Red Dead Redemption was phenomenal.
Game too.
Phenomenal. Yeah, phenomenal.
All
game.
right, so our 5 best open world games, we have Outer Wilds, Arkham City, GTA 5, Elite Dangerous. You've heard it here 17 times. and Breath of the Wild. You guys, that's all it. You guys have any recommendations for our listeners? Anything that you've been doing recently that you would like to recommend to our listeners?
Oh, well, let's see. So, if your listeners are fans of the 90s and they are also fans of the Star Wars expanded universe from the 90s, they may know this guy named Timothy Zahn, who wrote a bunch of books featuring this character named Grand Admiral Thrawn. And he has come out with some more books for Star Wars that include him. And I can't find the names of the books. But they're the new Thrawn books. They're fantastic. Just look for them. The current book is Thrawn Ascendancy. And I'm listening to it on Audible. The voice actor who is doing the narration is incredible. Just listen to it for him. They're really, really good. Really, really good.
Cool. Sean.
And Audible, come sponsor us.
Yeah, I'm down. Sean, any recommendations for our listeners?
If you can, safely, take walks and ideally listen to Friends at the Table while you're doing that, which is an actual play podcast where they play neat non-D&D games.
Yeah, shout out
and tell great stories.
Shout out to Austin Walker, my boy Austin.
His boy.
Yeah, that's my boy. Love that dude.
Love that guy. I am going to recommend, I believe the sale might be ending tomorrow, but I do believe it's an arcade cabinet. I'm going to recommend Killer Queen Black. It came out on the Switch as a arcade port, basically. I've heard wonderful things. I'm going to recommend that. I haven't tried it out just yet, but I'm pretty excited too. So I recommend that. It's like $2. 80% or like 95% off right now on the Switch. So go buy it. All right, guys, this has been the 90s First Take. You guys ready to sign off?
Never ready, but sometimes you got to do what you don't want to do.
Yeah. Everything's got to end.
Wow.
And on that note,
cut it there.
Bye, guys.
It's the end of dinosaurs.